Thursday's product of the week. Schmidty just got back from a few weeks in Argentina and had a couple hatch reels that he's taken down for several years now. So we're going to talk a little bit about why we like them and some of the different sizes and such with these reels.
I've been a hardy guy for a long time, so it takes a lot to impress me with reels, rods as well. And I remember when these guys first came out and we saw them, one of the things I didn't like about them is they didn't have a lot of offerings in the sizes. So I didn't think they had appropriate trout sizes, and also they were a little bit bulky at the time. And now having, this company's been around for a while, and I'm super impressed. Even initially I was super impressed with the designs of the reels. I was also super impressed with how tight they are. I mean, one of the things that drives me nuts with the reels, when you shake it, it rattles. The spools aren't attached very tight, and especially when you're paying for a reel that's, in this price range, which is, most of the trout sizes are anywhere from $400 to $500, and so you expect the tolerances of reels like that and the machining to be super tight, and this reel is everything. It is that, and it's even more. And having fished it now for a couple of years, and I'm super impressed with these reels. One of the few reels I'd actually purchased.
The first time I ever fished them, I had the 7 Plus and took it to the Bahamas and fished it on an 8-weight and kind of fell in love with it. And one of the cool things is because of their saltwater background, but also how durable they are, the weight, they're not uber light like some other reels, so that helps with durability, especially in boats and stuff. But on spay rods as well, with the saltwater sizes, you can use them on both, which is a huge deal, which with some other saltwater reels isn't the best of ideas.
Well, it's also a great steelhead reel too, because you got a sealed drag. Yeah. And a lot of the saltwater reels that people have crossed over into steelhead fishing that had exposed coarse drags, it's really not the most ideal situation. So the fact that these have sealed drags I think is another big advantage. I mean, this is the reel I used down in Argentina, and you mentioned boats, and I mean, boat fishing is really tough on gear, and this thing got banged around a lot. I tried to take care of it and as best I could, and I was kind of surprised after coming back. I mean, there isn't a mark on this thing. And so they're super durable, but they're also, I think we're all surprised at how this has become one of our best-selling reels. Yeah. And it's evident. I mean, you put this, you look at us and you pick one up and you just want to turn it and, crank it and whatever. And but you notice how solid it is. And a lot of people, a lot of the reels today are super, super light, which I think have some advantages. And so when you pick up one of these, they're a little bit heavier. But I think in the long run, and when you're fishing them, you really don't notice that. It really doesn't come into play there. I mean, when you're holding them, in the chop where you've got one in one hand, you go, well, that's kind of heavy. I just notice when I fish it that I don't notice that factor, that factor at all. And
plus, it adds to the durability.
Right.
One of the other cool things, which none of the other companies that we carry do this, but the reel foot is all part of the reel. It's all one fully machined piece. It's not a separate piece. Yeah. Which adds to the strength and also to how solid of a reel it is without rattling or wiggling around when it's on your reel seat or in the boat or whatnot.
Yeah, the first time I fished one of these was with John Ain down tarpon fishing. And that was a number of years ago, and it was when this company was, again, rather new. And I mean, I fished T-bores for a long time, which I think are still super impressive reels, and for saltwater situations, I think that's an incredible reel to have, and also very durable and everything. But I was just super impressed with the drag. It's just incredibly smooth. For trout fishing, again, I mean, in Argentina, the fish are incredibly hot. It's one of the things that's probably the biggest difference between the fish that we have up here versus the fish down there. I mean, hot, so your drags are getting tested. You get into your backing, a lot. And then these reels are just incredibly smooth. And you're using relatively light tippets for as strong as the fish are too. So the drag is important when you go to places like that. So I've been super, super impressed with these reels. I really like them.
Sweet. Well, welcome home.